Alright, we're back, bitch. You know what we're talking about this time? The fucking music streaming industry. That bitch ass shit where they pay artists pennies for their streams. I just watched his video. I think it was from L. Dre, L. Dre. He was talking about how he received over 4 million streams on Apple Music and then 4 million streams on Spotify. And he was comparing how much he made. And he was like, he made like 25K on Apple Music versus like 11K on Spotify. And we all know, Spotify is the biggest, in the game right now, I think, with over like 500 million users or something. And, I was just like, I don't know how it came to me, dog, but this is what I was thinking. Like, you know how they're fucking cheating everybody by doing this thing where they, only count a song if it's played, if you play like over 30 seconds of it, and then they pay you like tiny amount, and it's not, they say it's not per stream, right? They pay you after they pool amount around how many total streams everybody on the platform got, and then the percentage of streams that you got, you get paid for that, right? So it's not necessarily a per stream, it's like a percentage of a pool. So, but this is what I was thinking, dog. I was like, one, here's a setup, right? So people have already noticed that suspense is killing you. No, people are already noticing that songs are getting shorter, right? For Spotify songs, and just or not Spotify, songs in general, right? Billboard 100, etc. And I'm sure this is not a new idea that people have floated around, because I remember at a time, somebody, I think on their album, like made a song that was like just over 30 seconds or something, because that's when like Spotify or I think another platform will count it as a stream, will divvy out, count as a stream for that. So they were raising money for somebody, right, for doing that. And I was just thinking, like, why isn't it the case that we just all, like, for every single song, you just split that joint up into different like 30 32 seconds songs, and have it as a, your one song can now be, five, six different parts. So now one song gets six streams instead of one song getting one stream. You get what I'm saying? Like, why aren't people doing this already? Like, for example, I have, you know, 2 hours and 39 minutes and 27 seconds of songs that I've released. 45 tracks though, right? So if you streamed all of those 45 tracks once, I would get 45 streams. But instead, if you broke it up into however many, okay, so I can use my calculator, 2 hours, 39 minutes. Let's pull up a calculator. So 2 hours is 120 plus 39 is 159 divided by 30. No, that's 30 seconds. Okay, so that's 159 minutes times 60 minutes. So that's 9,540 seconds divided by 30. So that's 318. So 318 streams versus 45 streams. That's 7 times as much. So like, for example, that person got paid 11,000, they would be paid 70,000. And the whole thesis of this video, right, in this channel is one, fuck the system, right? Fuck all these people that, I was watching the interview, like I said, with Spotify with Daniel Ek, and he was talking about, oh, like, he's answering these interview questions from Good Morning America. And then before he's just like, I wanted to combine my interest in technology and computers with music. I'm like, oh my God, here we go with another, like, fucking, whether the percentage of what is true or not, I can't determine, but like, it's always some fairy tale, like, oh, it was so innocent, I just wanted to blah blah blah. And meanwhile, in the background, like, in order to be a corporate giant of any size, you're gonna have to be fucking millions of people over with what you're doing. And that was already the case. Like, when Spotify came out, it was a whole news thing of how everybody's like, oh, the artists are getting fucked over with Spotify because they're not really paying artists that much, they're getting paid pennies, and streaming is like ruining music and all this other shit, right? So like, fuck all that, first of all. And then they asked a question about, like, oh, like, did you get this idea from TikTok? And then he answers a whole circular question around it where he's like, well, it wasn't really a platform specifically, but we like to see what the kids are doing. So you took it from TikTok. So you like to see, so like with Snapchat, it was like stories now, you see stories everywhere. Okay, so now you're making an analogy about how everybody stole Snapchat's idea. And then at the end he kind of comes full circle, and then he's like, so, we were definitely inspired by it, but we don't want it to think like people to think it's TikTok, right? It's like it's Spotify's unique flavor of, I'm like, bro, just say you took that shit from TikTok, dog. Like, and this is the shit that I hate about business and competition and what they call free market, because it's not free market, bitch. It's a whole monopoly system and an oligarchy where there's only a few players that really control the flow of all the resources. And you have to use their money, you have to use their currency, or else they'll fucking pull out a gun on you and put you in a cage that they call jail, right? Because you literally cannot survive anywhere on this earth without using some form of currency that they decide that you need to use, or else you get thrown in jail, right? So think of the bigger picture here. And the bigger picture I'm connecting this to is what I want to make later, which is like a PowerPoint presentation that I was working on, about I can show y'all like what I've done so far, like PowerPoint presentation about how the things we need to be thinking about, right? I call it the 5D transition, right? I really don't have anything on these slides right now except for just like basic things, right? So we have, boom. What to use, what does it say? What to use instead of money, okay? So that's one slide, right? So basically the answer to this is going to be, there isn't like a replacement, right? And part of like the essence of this PowerPoint presentation is like, I think I said on the next slide. This is the third slide. It's like things to consider. We are not rebuilding. We're not going to be like replacing money. We're not rebuilding, but we're abandoning and existing in spirit, listening to answers as they come, our intuition. So we're not replacing money, right? It's like we're creating a whole new system where, okay, refocus. Okay, so where money isn't even thought about, right? It's like mutual aid systems, right? It's not even going to be mutual aid, though. It's going to be something beyond that, right? It's in spirit, it's in intuition, it's in, not in domination and subjugation of people, right? So, we got items to consider. I put rare minerals. People need to have people that are informed about toxic things, medicine, spiritual leaders. I mean, I just started kind of brainstorming things like, oh, what is law enforcement? I kind of just explained this, but law enforcement is pretty much, instead of the president enforcing their laws, or the governors or the politicians enforcing their laws with guns and weapons, they outsource that shit, and then they just say, oh, we're just doing our job, right? Because they recruit them from poor communities or middle class communities, just like they do with the fucking people that they send to war and that they kill, right? And I'm looking at the news right now. It's like what they said on Fox or CNN or MSNBC. I just watch them all and just compare, because they all run the same fucking stories and just different angles to convince people of different shit. But it was like, I think it was on Fox where this woman was like, oh, like in Russia, like they're paying people more than people make in a living wage to like join the war. So like they're literally, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but like they're literally buying. But it's just so fucked up. Like you just have to laugh at a certain point, because it's just all so dark. Like they're buying death. They're literally buying death at this point. So what is law enforcement? It's really just protecting an idea. It's not really protecting anything. It's protecting the system. And the system is an idea. It's in your mind, right? The universe is in your mind, like I was saying in the other video. It's not what's out in this reality. And like all of this reality is like I said, it could be Google Gaga, like anything works, and backwards and talking and then grab things. And like the only things that really matter to me are just like my animal instincts of like, okay, food, water, and just whatever the fuck my spirit leads me to, right? Okay, what is it? Okay, I don't even have to go through this whole presentation now, but I only have a few slides that I didn't talk about. What is information? How do you know what you know? That's epistemology. So basically all the information that we're fed is through schools, and all the science and technology, everything that we learn is pretty much just like taken for granted as like what people say, oh, this is like the way it is, oh, the earth is round, or not, saying that it is a flat earth, but it's just all these ideas where it's like, have you actually done anything to verify any information that you've learned? Have you just read the textbooks that you were given? Have you read the history as they wrote it? Because right now they're pulling out that shit about how like you'd rather be a slave than to be dead, right? So all these campaigns, what about surveillance? how do we deal with surveillance? Because at this point, you know, everything I say on this recording is being put into an engine on YouTube, on Google, on Alphabet, being running through law enforcement, you know, databases being run through CIA databases and FBI and, you know, COINTELPRO, all these, you know, even like, you know, British databases. This all goes back to the UK, right? And the Crown, right? So it goes to all this shit. How do we deal with surveillance? I put communicate with telepathy and spirit, but I was watching a video by that woman, what's her name? I can't remember. It's like not Sophia Wallace, like Morgan. I don't know why I'm saying like Morgan Wallace. I can't remember, but she was basically talking about technology that and Dick Gregory was talking about this too. Technology that pretty much was able to like, you know, record and read your mind and thoughts that you had in your mind, you know, through the air. So, I mean, at this point, it's just going to be, you know, I don't do the Bible shit, but like the Bible says, like, it's just not a war against flesh and blood. It's a spiritual war. And then I just have this last slide called While We're At It. Zoos are fucking terrorism for animals. King Leopold slaughtered 11 million African people. And it has how much coverage compared to the Holocaust? And leaving the USA is not a solution to this problem. It's a global system, and it's going to require everybody standing up for their own freedom. You know, we're not going to be slaves that just bow down to the master and say, oh, I'm so sorry, take me back, or whatever. Yeah, so that was kind of just a nice little rant. And, you know, it all kind of loops back to what I was saying, though, about like the music streaming and the shit that I'm going to try. I'll let y'all know how it goes, and I'll just, you know, release my next song, break that shit up. Because what I was going to do, you know what inspired me to do it was because I had a song. I made a few songs now where in the middle of it, like it transitions into a whole nother vibe, right? So, you know how like songs do beat switches and things like that? So I was like, should I make it 2 songs? Because maybe I just want to listen to the second half instead of the first half. And I think that led me to, wait a second. I started doing the research, like how, you know, they're still kind of ambiguous on like what counts as a stream and what doesn't. But, you know, it's just basically kind of like the thing I'll try first is like, you know, the 30 seconds, right? So make it like just 32 seconds to be safe, you know, put that on, people stream it, and then you get like I said, I would get 7 times the amount of streams for all the work that I've done, and that multiple just keeps going up with, I think, no, it depends. The math means it depends on like how long the song is. So it's like the multiple would be higher if I made a 10-minute song versus a 2-minute song, right? I would get more streams with it. But, you know, it's all the same shit, you know, it's just being fucked over because instead of buying an album for like $15 or buying a song for like, you know, $1 or $2 when they came out with iTunes and shit, or just buying songs on the internet, now it's like a song stream is like not even a penny. Or sorry, not even like 10. I think the most you get is like 3 pennies from like Tidal. It's like the highest paying one. I can't remember all of it. You can search it on the internet. But yeah, yes, it's fighting. This is what I was saying about law school too. This is the last thing before I wrap it up because I gotta shower and go Uber. It's a little Wednesday evening Uber. It was busy last Wednesday, so. But yeah, this connects back to law school and everything that I learned there, and like why I left law school, and like why I'm like so mad when people tell me like, oh yeah, just like use the system to fight the system type shit. Yeah, it's like you gotta use the system to fight the system, but that doesn't mean you're going to like do everything that the system tells you to do. You're gonna have to, the same way that all the rich people are not paying taxes, the same way that, you know, all the best lawyers are using the law against like the plain text of what it says, and Supreme Court decisions are going down where you're like, how does this even make sense? Like, why would you do this? And how are people being affected? And how are you just able to cut all these things as a president and signing these executive orders? And, you know, doesn't matter which fucking party, you know, every fucking party, the Democrats, the Republicans, you know, the independents, the Green parties, they're all playing the same sort of charade game, being paid by the same fucking people. So how the music shit connects with the law school shit is like, what I realize is like, you know, what they want you to do is they want you to go in and make a song that's like 10 minutes getting paid 1 stream, right? And I'm just looking at the shit like, okay, like the way that you set the system up is rigged anyway. It's like no matter what the fuck I do, I can make this shit 32 seconds and then just have a bunch of songs. And then what the fuck, you know, the bigger person is going to make 32 seconds and make it a whole fucking thing, right? So it's not, me doing this is not a solution or anything. It's not like I'm going to like, oh, like come up on a bag or like really change anything. But it's more about proving a point and more about pushing the system where we can. And that's what I want, our tribe to do, is like pushing the boundaries and, pushing the boundaries of language, pushing the boundaries of the law, because the law literally does not exist. It's only what you accept. The law is not a thing that actually physically exists. It's something that you're threatened with weapons of mass destruction, with rifles, with pistols, and all these, batons and mace and tasers and, highway patrol officers and all these other things that, we're forced to drive in cars. All of our cities are fucking all gray and pavements and tall buildings that are gray. It's so fucking depressing. There's no fucking color in the earth and anymore, which probably contributes to depression. And you're forced to get in these cars. And I remember even in law school, we were talking about this in my torts class, where it's like cars are so fucking dangerous, and like biking is dangerous. And it's like, we've made all these things and they call it progress, but in reality, it's just a way for more people to extract more money out of you, more time out of you, so you become a better slave, so that the people that are at the top get more and more and more and more and more, and lock you in till that you're trapped forever. So, I feel like Tory Lanez in that video, right before they locked him up, before all that shit happened with Meg Thee Stallion, So, I won't speak on that shit just because, honestly, it's not even worth it. Like, it's just not even worth it. You know where my mind's at. We're on the same page. So, yeah. So, that's really it, dog. We can just chill. Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch that Tory Lanez video while I'm driving. I hope you have a great, great day, a great week, a great month, a great year, a great next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, your next life, the life after that. And never give up, Always live your truth. Don't let these folks tell you what to do. Don't let these folks bully you out of what you know is right. I have these TikToks that I saved that I'm gonna do probably for a live or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of more ideas. But one of the TikToks is that this experiment that they do basically about peer pressure, where it's like all these people are saying that they see something that the other person knows is not there, but when they get to them, there's like a 37% chance, I think it was, that from the study, that they would say this same thing, that the other people said, even though they know it wasn't true. Like, they saw it with their own eyes, but, and then there was a different result, like when they wrote it down versus saying it, like less people were not convinced, but coincided. What's the word? You know what I'm talking about. Less people were, swayed by them. And then, just make sure that, you don't take no shit. Like, that's the one thing, dog. Like, it's just, we gotta stop taking this shit. Like, just like I was talking about in one of the last videos, where it's like, my dad working for the government, and then, they wanted to send in his accomplishments, every week or whatever. I'm just like, at some point, like, we're gonna have to call it quits. Like, at some point, that's why I left law school. I remember I was in the library in law school, man, and I was talking to this one guy, man, and I was so pissed off at this point. I don't know what exactly it was that ticked me off. I think it was one of the assignments, because I had to be a prosecutor putting this little girl in jail, and I just knew it was all fucked up, and I knew at that point, really, it was like after I talked to a few of the writing coaches, and like when I was writing my thing, I was like, they had me take out the Constitution. I was citing the Constitution, and they were like, no, take that out. We don't want to do that. And I was just like, so this is how the lawyers do it. Okay. And I was like, we need a protest. I was like telling this guy in the library, I was like, we need a protest. It was like, we run this shit, dog. It's like, if everybody didn't show up to class the next day, they would have to listen to fucking us, you know? They would have to listen to us. We have the power. We could all withdraw. We could all protest. We have the power. We could stop driving on the roads. We could create our own shit, dog. We have the power, and I think that's the biggest thing, that it's just like, god damn, we can't be isolated anymore. It can't be just one person, and it's going to take one at a time, of course, and then once we get a mass number of people, like with movements and shit, like it gets bigger and bigger. But like, I know it's meant to happen, whether I'm here or not. I'll always be here in spirit. That's why I'm never afraid of like dying or death. You know, I've already been through suicide. If somebody wants to kill me, torture me, whatever, I'm not scared of none of that bullshit, because I've already been through the worst of times. And I'm just like, at this point, dog, like, I'm just here for shits and giggles, dog. Like, I'm really just here for shits and giggles. So, you know, whatever the fuck people want to talk about, do, say, convince me of, manipulate me into, psychologically manipulate me, you do you, I'ma do me. And that's it. I mean, I'm all love. All I want to do is spread more love to communities and create mutual aid and share knowledge and share, like, we can all just, like I said, when in that song, we are one people but still slaves, like, we can all stop this and live better if we just see ourselves in each other, you know. But yeah, maybe the internet isn't all bad. Maybe this communication is good, you know. But a little over 20 minutes, so I guess I'll leave it there. I'll go to work, and see you in the next video. I love you. Ooh.